Hey everyone, and welcome to another Film Time video. Pawn Stars is one of those reality TV series on the History Channel that follows a pawn store's interactions with various people trying to sell their valuables. With some of the most interesting items, the first episode aired in 2009 and is still going on today. This show is most notable for featuring very rare and legendary items to be pawned. Whether they're worth a lot of money from historical value or being plain expensive, several items catches the store's attention. But some of these items turn out to be completely fake, even sometimes fooling the pawn stars themselves. What were some of these transactions, and how much did they cost? Let's find out in the topic of today's video, 7 times the pawn stars were seriously scammed. Get ready, because you're about to see which items were sold off for way more than they were worth. But before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. Now let's dive right in, starting with number 1. For number 1, we have Napoleon's Letter. One day, a seller came in claiming that he had an original letter that Napoleon had written several hundred years ago. The store believed him and bought it for $2,000. After running it by a historical expert though, it turned out the letter was just a fake, ultimately not being worth much at all. At number 2, we chose an ancient Native American vest. Made up of several tiny beads, this vest was claimed by the seller to be an authentic article of clothing worn by Native American children. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a fake, being a store-bought souvenir rather than an actual clothing item. But the seller managed to scam the pawn stars out of $1,300, which was a significant loss for the completely fake item. For number 3, we have a Gibson Mandolin. With Gibson being a very highly esteemed brand and company for instruments, mainly mandolins, this item immediately caught the eye of pawn stars. After briefly inspecting the outer and inner design of the instrument, they quickly agreed on a deal of $1,500. However, after running it by a musical instrument expert, the mandolin turned out to be a fake, as the stitching, build, and logo of Gibson were all clearly wrong. At number 4, we chose a book signed by Shoeless Joe Jackson. Jackson is one of American history's most legendary baseball players, whose signature is infamous for causing debate among several specialists. Being a very difficult signature to authenticate, Jackson's name is extremely valuable if confirmed to be real. The pawn stars immediately recognized its worth and bought it for $1,300. After having the signature examined by a specialist as well as an entire committee of professionals though, the signature was deemed as a fake, resulting in a very hard-hitting loss for the store. For number 5, we chose a comic book collection. One day, a lady came into the store with several boxes full of vintage comic books. Claiming that they were her uncle's comic book collection, she simply just wanted to get them off her hands. The boxes were sold for $500 since they seemed very straightforward and difficult to counterfeit. However, upon getting an expert to take a look, the comics books were found not to be worth much at all. Each book was held at about 50 cents, much less than they were originally thought to be. At number 6, we have an Austin Healey Sprite. This vintage car is valued amongst car collectors, highly praised for its sleek and sporty design. The pawn stars were immediately excited and interested upon seeing it. After trying to get it to start up though, it wouldn't work, but the seller insisted that it was because they were too lazy to get it fixed up themselves. The store didn't see that as a big problem and bought it off of him for $5,000. However, upon bringing it to a mechanic, they found that repairs to the car would cost $6,000, $1,000 more than he had paid for it, ultimately being a very expensive loss. But before we reveal our final pick, let us know down in the comments which one of these items has been the most interesting to you. Do you enjoy historical items? Make sure to comment down below, and now onto our final pick with number 7. For number 7, we chose a Wells Fargo ball and chain. When the seller came in with this ancient piece of history, the store had a feeling that it was a fake, due to the technology seeming way too advanced for its time period. However, the pawn stars went ahead and proceeded with the transaction, buying it for an impressive $450. When an expert took a look at it though, it turned out to be a complete fake, with no value whatsoever attached to it. So what did you think of our list? Would you have bought some of these items? Or would you have been able to spot the counterfeit ones? Let us know down in the comments below, and tune in next time for another Film Time video.